Hello, everybody. And before we do the intro or anything, I'm recording this very late. And if you hear any background music upon the background music, I don't like being in the very dead quiet at 1 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, guys, I have not been doing videos for 3 days. Sorry. I've been watching lots of Tokyo Ghoul. Okay, so this is going to be What If Deku Was a Hacker Part 2. Well, on to the video.
We did everything right, now I'm on the outside.
Okay, guys, so on to the video. Okay, so we start this off, right when, after the time skip to when Izuku is now walking up to Yue. Like, okay, so Reggie got those upgrades. That seems to be it. As he gallops into Yue, and he's like, this'll be fun. As his name, well, his fake name, if you guys want to know, would be Oliver Calloway. And during this, Izuku, he aces the entire written exam. And he gets around a 94, which was obviously the highest. And Izuku, going into the hero route, obviously, was he went into the exam site with everybody, and that's when a kid suddenly approaches him. It's someone called Katsuki Baku, and he's like, loser, get out of my way. As Izuku is like, what did you just say to me? As Izuku quickly pushes him away from him and gets his fists out, as Bakugo's like, I don't need this right now, as he quickly walks away. And then President Mike just suddenly says, start! And everyone starts suddenly running, but Izuku immediately throws one of his translocators and gets in front of everybody. And Ida notices that he's even faster than him. And when he hacks one of his robots, he starts just destroying them all with his quite large katana. And he starts breaking all of them with his sword. And Izuku also pulls out his gun and just starts destroying all kinds of robots. The teachers assumed that was his quirk, but no, he just had those on him. And Izuku, immediately running into a couple 3-pointers next to each other, he uses a group hack, which just hacks all of them. And Izuku destroys it, obviously. And yeah, so near the end of the exam, obviously, he hears a cry for help, and he quickly scurries over there, and he finds somebody named Ochaku Uraka waiting for him, like, please help me, sir, my leg is trapped under this rock. As Izuku immediately lifts it up, as Uraka's like, I can't move, as the robot stomps over to Izuku, and Izuku's like, oh, this is what caused it. As Izuku's like, no problem, I'll save you. As he quickly throws his translocator as far up in the air as he can, and he gets right above the 0-pointer, and getting tons of energy in front of him, he throws both hands out to the side, and he does a complete hack, which is a area of attack, which just completely hacks your enemy, shutting it down. And Izuku, now seeing the robot falling down, he uses his katana and slashes its head clean in half. And he grabs Ochako quickly and runs over to Recovery Girl just before getting a couple points. And that's when President Mike says, "Exam is over." And Izuku is like, "I'm looking forward to the results." Wait a minute. Oh, right. As he quickly texts Reggie, like, "Remember, 4 weeks in the mail. Tell me what class I got and what, if I even got it." And Reggie just replies with, "Okay, boss." And 4 weeks later, obviously, Izuku is assigned to class 1A. And Izuku is like, happy I have the strongest one. As he quickly rushes over to Yue. As he gets there and just admires the place, like, this will be fun. As he walks in and he quickly grabs his eye when he walks in, like, stop, not now. As the pink little teardrop on his eye starts like glowing, and Izuku quickly hits it with his hand and is like, whatever, as he walks into class. And he's greeted by Ida and Bakugo yelling at each other, and Izuku's like, this class is going to be just splendid. As Uraraka comes up behind him like, oh, that white hair. Yeah, I recognize you. Hello. Thank you for saving me during the exam. My name's Ochaku Uraraka. What is yours? As Izuku is like, well, I'm Oliver Calloway. And Ochaku's like, nice to meet you, Oliver. Well, I hope we can be great friends. As they start talking, and Aizawa quickly, well, no, not quickly at all, sluggishly, crawls into the room with his, sleeping bag and says, that's 8 seconds too long. We'll have to work on that. As Aizawa directs the class into the locker rooms to get their uniforms on. And, yeah. Anyway, when all of them get outside for the little activity they were expecting, when Aizawa was explaining the rules, Ochako's like, what about orientation? That's literally going on right now. As Aizawa was like, heroes don't need that kind of stuff. If you want to go to that, you're not a hero worth my time. As Izuku's like, this guy's gonna be a doozy. As I was like, you there, kid. You got first on the exam. Go first, Oliver. As Izuku's like, understood, sir. As he quickly gets out his hand and he's like, this should work. As he gets out like his hacking tools, and instead of like hacking his body, he hacks his hand, and it gets like supercharged. As Izuku, getting a very fast Mach 12 arm speed, throws it as far as he can. And as he throws it as far as he can forward, he suddenly gets hit on the back of the head. And he falls forward like, what was that? As he sees the ball right like indented into his head. As Izuku's like, that definitely hurt. as he falls unconscious. And Aizawa is shocked, like, how did he get... What? It came around the entire Earth? Impossible! As everyone is just shocked and amazed. As Ochaka's like, that's probably better than mine. As Izuku is given the label Infinity. And Izuku, coming back out after the third exam had already been finished, continues his exams. And Izuku ends up getting first place out of everybody. And yeah. So Aizawa looks over to Minoru Mineta like, you. As Mineta is like, what is it, sir? As Aizawa was like, may I ask you, Minoru, what do you look most forward to in the act of heroism? As Minoru was like, of course, all the hot babes. As Aizawa was like, you're expelled. It wasn't meant to be real, but that only proved my point. Some of the heroes that we're getting recently are only in for the fame, what he said, or the money. So, I want to thin out the population and, get real heroes that'll actually do their job for a good reason. Understood? As everyone's like, sir. And yeah. So the next day after that, instead of Aizawa greeting them, it's All Might. And everyone's kind of surprised, like, oh my gosh, All Might. As Izuku in his disguise is like, thank God he doesn't actually recognize me. Hopefully he doesn't notice my purple eye. As All Might is like, welcome, students, and today we'll be doing Hero versus Villains training. Go get on your fantastic hero costumes and meet me outside. As everyone quickly grabs their hero costumes. As Izuku gets on this big jacket, but no one thinks that it'll do anything, but in reality, it's a very strong jacket that enhances his hacking ability, along with lots of tools. Anyway, when All Might is announcing the teams for simplicity's sake, we'll have the same teams as in the normal canon anime. Okay, so Izuku now, what was I gonna say? Is like Ochako. Okay, so Bakugo and Tenya Ida. This can work. As when All Might starts the match, he's like, students, get in starting position. The game will start in 3, 2, 1, start! As Izuku rushes into the building and sees Bakugo waiting for him, like, got you, loser! As Izuku throws a knife right at him, and it catches his hair literally on a wall, and it sticks him on there. As Bakugo tries to grab at it, Izuku quickly knees him in the chin, and he also hacks Bakugo so he can't explode him. And Ochako also makes his legs float, so now he's floating in midair, as Izuku also ties his hands behind his back with the capture rope, and Bakugo is eliminated. And Tenya, hearing this on the intercom, is like, this is not going to be good. As he gets in starting position. And when Izuku and Ochako eventually find it, they were met with a knee to the face from Tenya to Ochako. And Ochako immediately gets knocked out by this, as Izuku's like, Ochako! As Izuku gets out his sword, he's like, you'll regret that. As Izuku slashes at Tenya's armor, and Tenya's like, that won't do anything to me. As Izuku slashes straight through the entire armor piece and actually cuts Tenya. And Ida's like, how? How is your sword that powerful? As Izuku kicks him in the face, and he's like, oh, so you have a speed quirk, as Izuku quickly hacks him. And Tenya, trying to knee Izuku in the face also, jumps into the air with a knee in front of Izuku. And as he goes to power up his legs, nothing comes out, and Izuku smacks him onto the ground, and with two knives puts both into his chest, and he's like, now stay down if you don't want any more trouble. As he walks over to the bomb, and Ida's like, no. As Izuku touches the bomb, and he's like, that's it. As All Might announces, the hero team wins. And yeah, so the next day after that, they get on a bus with Aizawa and the entire class, and they go to the USJ. And everyone was discussing quirks at the time, and Suyu also brings up, like, Oliver, your quirk is very strong. How is it that strong, may I ask? Have you been training? And if so, for how long? And Izuku's like, I've been training for my entire life with my quirk. Lots of people assume I could be a villain, like, yeah, I could be, but I choose not to, because that does not go with my ideals. As Suyu's like, interesting, Midoriya. Galloway. As Izuku's like, yeah. Anyway, when they eventually get to the USJ, 13 greets them as like, welcome students to the Unforeseen Simulation Joint, or USJ for short. And today we'll be doing, as she starts blabbering on about the rules and stuff. And as she opens the door, everyone comes crawling in and is like, oh my gosh, as she explains all the zones. And Kirishima blurts out, like, hey, they even have fake villains too. This place is so cool. As everyone looks towards the center, like, what do you mean fake villains? As I was like, those aren't fake. As they see a blue-haired man appear through the X's, like, there you are. As the portal quickly expands, as Shigaraki and all of the villains come out. Even this beast with its brain exposed, the eye of which was very buff. And Izuku, looking at this, is like, this is not good. As he throws a ninja star up into the air and then kicks it down at them, and it quickly expands into size before becoming giant, and then hitting the entire crowd. And Izuku also throws a translocator down into the fountain. And he's like, they'll never see that coming. As Izuku touches something on his jacket and he goes invisible. And Aizawa also jumps down to the villains and starts fighting them, as he tells 13 to protect the students. And Izuku also quickly rushes over to get All Might. But by the time he arrives back with All Might, he sees a bloodied and battered Bakugo and Kirishima on the ground along with Aizawa, and Izuku's like, what happened? As All Might is like, who's hurting my students? As he immediately goes towards the Nomu, and they have the same fight as always in the anime, and Izuku watches as All Might yells, Plus Ultra! As he defeats the Nomu, sending it through the glass dome of the USJ. And Shigaraki's like, we have the final boss right here in front of us. Let's do this, Kirigiri. As they quickly charge at All Might and Izuku, using his translocator, yells, complete group hack, as Shigaraki falls to the floor like, I can't move, as he's very confused on what's happening, and Izuku looks over to him like, he forgot my quirk. He never saw it. As Kirigiri also just falls unconscious. And All Might ends up arresting the two, but all of them thinking they were safe. The very next day, that prison was actually broken into. It wasn't Tartarus, it was like the very one below. But only Shigaraki got out, and obviously All For One led the charge. So that was a bit worrying. The criminal was already out and escaped. So, yeah, I think that's where we'll be leaving off. Yeah. So everybody, this is Aitaku, signing off. Bye-bye.